Just Because Buzz. I'm Merritt Crawford. Thank you for joining me. Today is Saturday, October 12th, 2024, and this is episode 39. If you are new to my channel, welcome. This is a channel where I talk about cross stitch and quilting and sometimes wool applique. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I would appreciate if you haven't subscribed that you would subscribe and like my channel. That would be wonderful. So today we're going to talk about a variety of things. It's going to be about cross stitch mainly, but there'll be some quilting in there and some other things that I enjoy doing. And so I'm going to share all of those things. And I do want to just acknowledge just the devastation that has gone on in our southeast, North Carolina and Tennessee and Florida and Georgia. Out west, the fires and things like that are happening out there. Lord, I'm just praying for you. I'm praying for specific folks that I know that are in those areas, but just in general too. There's so many people that are hurting and have lots of opportunity to lift those folks up in prayer. There are also some things that we can be doing to help, and I'll share about that in just a moment too. So I want to welcome you again. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right in. So behind me, I've decorated my shelves for fall, and I'll probably pop in some other pictures of some of my other fall items that are out in my house and let you see some of those finishes. But just to point out a few things that are on the shelf behind me, mainly the middle one and the lower one here. This is not necessarily fall. These are just ones that I love and some of my designs. So we have here, this is a Blackbird design out of the Winds of Autumn book. It's actually 3 of the designs put on one piece. It's a little pin pillow, and has a little pocket here. I used some Blackbird design fabric and some really pretty lace and just a pretty backing. And then this is also in the Winds of Autumn book. It's a little drum, and I finished it with that big bow. Kind of reminds me of the little girls that wore the big bows in the Victorian age, and so it was just kind of funny that this bow was so kind of big, and I don't know, I just kind of liked it. And then that's a Puntini pin with my initial on it. This is also out of the Winds of Autumn book. My friend Terry with Chocolates for Breakfast. The first time that we met up in Tecumseh, Michigan, we both had the Winds of Autumn book, and we decided to stitch something together and finish it together. So we split a little piece of fabric together, and then we stitched this piece, and I just love it. It's a great memory. This is also a Blackbird design. Can you tell I like Blackbird designs? If you're new to my channel. So this came out of, I want to say, My Heart Remembers book, and it's one of the birds in one of the samplers there. And I'm a member of the Saturday Stitcher group, and we challenged each other to do something on perforated paper with, or actually I think we challenged each other to stitch the bird and then finish it in a unique way. So this is how I finished mine. So here's the back, and it's just on a floral pick with a bow and through 3 vintage spools. And then this is out of the Winds of Autumn book. It was also a standalone Reward of Merritt piece, and it's now in the Winds of Autumn book as well. Spell of the Moon. I did a black velvet on the back. This was also a piece that Terry and I did together. I think this was the next year. We chose this piece out of the Winds of Autumn, and it's just a little pouch, so you can see it a little better. And I stuck some The finishing instructions are in the book. This is out of the new fall book by Blackbird Design. New as in maybe 2 years old, maybe 1 year old. This is When Leaves Fall, and this is in that book, and you use this special toweling to create this pin pillow. And there's the back. This is a needle book that I made. I used 3 pumpkins that were a freebie on the Owl Forest embroidery website, and I stacked them. So they're not like this on the freebie, they're just individual pumpkins scattered throughout the chart. But I decided to stack them and make a needle book. So some of you have seen this probably, and I did some big stitch quilting on the back. And then the center right now has a lot of pins and needles in it. And then this is the inside lining. I fussy cut a piece of that to put right here. And then I used a piece of the ruler tape, but it's like a ribbon. All right, so to continue over here, this is also Blackbird Design. This is out of Winds of Autumn, and made a drum. I had the opportunity to go to a Blackbird Design retreat in 2021 at the Craft Gallery, and Miss Alma was there, and this was one of our projects, was the little squirrel, and it's now in the book When Leaves Fall. This was also a retreat piece, and this was at the same retreat, and this is also now in When Leaves Fall. And we received the finishing instructions for this piece and the finishing materials. The counting pins are from Jersey Girl Stitch Co. So Teresa and her daughter. And then I won't pick up these individually, but these are pumpkins that are for sale. They are on my Sew Just Because D-Stash page. You can go to my regular Instagram page, and you can find that under sew_because or just_because. And you can find the post where I talk about these pumpkins. Some of them have sold, but these are left, and they're on the D-Stash page. So if you're interested in those, you can head on over there, and that's where you'll find them. I enjoyed making those pumpkins. They were a lot of fun. I will give you one little tip. So this little leaf is 2 layers of wool, and I learned those from Fig Tree Quilts. In her book, she has a pattern on the leaf and on making other fruits and vegetables, pumpkins and things like that. But in the leaves, she recommended if you wanted to have some dimension, she recommended putting a little piece of wire or floral wire in there. And I loved that idea. I thought that was just such a great idea. And I got to looking around my sewing room and craft room, and when I buy the charms that come on the little card, like I think it's Heidi and Joe, and there's some other ones where you can get the charms that you're putting on your project bags, things like that. Those come wired to the card. We'll save those little wires, and you can use those to sandwich in between your 2 pieces of wool. I just glued it in with some Aleene's glue, put the 2 leaf pieces together, and then let it dry, get tacky, and then after that I stitched the blanket stitch around the edges. So I'm going to show that to you one more time. Here's another pumpkin. I did the same thing with this one. So you see how the leaf is bent up to give it some dimension, and it has that wire in it, and that's how I can shape it and give it some dimension. So I loved that idea. I thought that was just a great way to recycle something. And so I've been saving those little twisties now off of the charm cards. Okay, let's see. What other FFOs do I have? I do have some other different FFOs. So let's look at those. This is a pattern. I've been challenged by my friend Louise. If you've been with me for a while, I have a friend. Her real name is Wanda. Hi, Wanda. And somehow, years ago, when I lived in Alabama, we were in a quilt guild together. Somehow we got to calling each other Louise. I'm Louise, she's Louise. Anyway, occasionally you'll hear me refer to her as Louise. So she challenged me earlier this month, maybe at the end of September. She's like, we really need to look at getting our whips, our quilt whips down, our UFOs. In quilting, we call them UFOs. We really need to get that list down. And I was like, yeah, and I really do. And so we got to talking about how would we do that? And I said, what about 25 and 25? She goes, we need to start now. I was like, okay. So I pulled one out. This is Atkins Designs. It's a table runner, and it is called Pinwheel Puzzle. And I made a fall design using this pattern, or a fall table runner using this pattern. And so here's this one. And then it's bright and cheery. It is like major bright fall color, so it's not the grungy that some people like, the prim. And then it has this cute little backing on the back. And I just machine quilted it. I just did a swirl through the center of the pinwheels. Just kept it really simple. So that was fun. Hangs over my railing, stair railing. Another fun finish that I have is something I was thinking about doing a class, but we decided to go in a different direction. I'll share that with you in a moment. But I love to make yo-yos, and this particular project is just a placemat. And you make a yo-yo using the 60mm yo-yo from Clover. It's the yellow one. And you just go ahead and make a regular yo-yo, and then you pinch down the top and just do a little stitch and add a piece of ribbon with the top kind of cut at a slant. And you have some little pumpkins to put around on a placemat, and then you can put your bowl of candy here if you're expecting trick-or-treaters, or you could put a bowl of floral greenery, whatever. But this could be a little yo-yo table mat, but they're pumpkins. And if you're interested in learning more about, if you have the Clover makers, you want to learn more about making the yo-yos and you need a tutorial, I have a tutorial on my channel. You can go back and look at that. I'll try to remember to link it below. But that tutorial can really help you get an idea of how to work the Clover makers. They're great. Okay, I have some project bags that I made that I posted on Instagram if you've been over on my Instagram, but I thought I would show them here too. This is a really scrappy one. It is, let's see, it's Kathy Holden and Amazing Lace, maybe? Anyway, it is a line by her that came out a couple of years ago. And I purchased maybe a charm and was able to make several. And then I added this pink gingham, just trying to use up scraps, and kind of did like a log cabin on the back. And then more scraps and different fabrics inside, but happy to have some extra project bags around. Let's see. This one I was trying to use an extra block that I had left over, and this is Kate Spain fabrics, and they're pretty old fabrics that I had, but I had that block and I had some of her fabrics, so I decided to make a larger bag out of it. And again, just scrappy because I was trying to use up fabrics, and just a fabric pull tie. And then this one This is an idea that I'm still working on, but this is a Lori Holt 12-inch pumpkin block out of the Farm Girl Vintage book. And there's the back, just some cute little pumpkins. And then I had this idea after hearing folks talk about whenever you have to have multiple needles threaded, or you have multiple colors that you're working with in a cross stitch project, and they're kind of close within the motif that you're working. So you're doing a border and there's like 5 different colors in that border, and you don't want to keep rethreading with the next color. You want to just keep some threads already on your needle and be able to just pick them up when they come up next. So what I did was I made one of the boards like Lori Holt, but I adapted it to try to accommodate having multiple needles threaded. And I'm still working on it, on the idea, but these have some magnets here so I can put my needle on here. I can demonstrate that for you. There's a needle on there. You can kind of see them through the fabric. And then this is a place where you can actually slide the number or the symbol that you're working with on your pattern. You can make a copy of your pattern legend for the symbols and the thread colors, and you can slide them up in there. I also could slide up like the Weeks Dye Works and the Gentle Arts, they would Classic Color Works, all of those would fit in these little sections. So it's something I'm still working on, trying to tweak and get it the way I like it. And but it was really helpful. This is just batting, so it helps keep your thread and your needles, all of that's kind of organized. It's just I'm not sure I like this part. I may want to put the thread up here and put the numbers in a different spot. I don't know, or come down the side. I'm still working on it, so just thought I would show it to you. That's the big pumpkin bag. And that might be all the FFOs, things that I've done. Let's look at this. Oh, I have one more thing. So one of the ladies that attended the recent Blackbird Design Retreat at Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach a couple of weekends ago, she had posted on her Instagram, her name is Jenny, that she had lost her home in a fire that was a result of Helene. And so Holly, Hobbies of Holly, I'll get it straight, has organized a ornament roundup kind of thing where we make an ornament, fully finish it, and then it's going to be given to Jenny to decorate her tree this Christmas. And so I found a Blackbird Design ornament in the 2003 Just Cross Stitch magazine, Christmas edition, ornament edition. And it looks like this. And my version looks like this. So this will be going to Jenny. I'm still trying to decide if I want to add like a 2024 here or an initial here with a bulb pin and maybe a little charm for one of those. I'm still trying to decide about that. But that's the ornament. It is open in the top, so I can stick some greenery. I can stick some greenery in there. And then this is the bag. I love that little fabric. So, and these pins, I feel like it's kind of a joint effort here. These little beads came from my friend Kim. Thanks, Kim. And use those for the hanger. And it does have some beading on it, and it has like a Smyrna cross for the little snowflakes. It has some satin stitches and back stitches, but really enjoyed it. And I'll show you another one I'm working on in just a moment. Okay, so I think that's all my FFOs now. Now I have some FOs. So let's talk about that. I am marking in my book of days. I wanted to show that. September, the last time I visited with you was on Saturday, September 7th. And I pretty much stitched every day. I've kind of become a monogamous stitcher in that once I start something, I'm having a hard time putting it down unless it's like I'm doing a homework section of something I'm working on with friends. So it's interesting. I don't have as many whips to show you because I'll work on something and I just want to work on it until I get it done. But this is my October book of days so far. Okay, so FOs. Let's talk about that for a moment. The first one is a Little House Needleworks. One day I was just wanting to stitch some Christmas, and I also have a ornament exchange coming up, so I wanted to go ahead and get a jump on this. And there's my finish of that. I did use the new color called Caroling by Classic Colorworks for the red, and I think it's beautiful. So I'll finish that as an ornament for my exchange. The next thing that I finished is Plum Street Cinnamon Stars. So like I said, I was determined to get some of these things done. I had started this last year with my friend Wanda and Jan, and they both finished and have fully finished, and so I wanted to get this done. And let's show that to you. There's my Cinnamon Stars, and I'm really pleased with it. I think it's so pretty. I've admired several other people that have stitched this. I did make a change with my Scarecrow. I wanted him to have blue jean overalls and a little red shirt, so I did change that. Just kind of a denim color. But everything else is called for, either the called for overdyed or the DMC, whichever I had in my stash. So this is Plum Street Cinnamon Stars. Okay. The next one is by JBW. It is the French Country 4 Pumpkin. And I stitched mine in copper on a piece of, I believe it's called Honey. And the copper is by Gentle Arts. And I just think that's so pretty. So I'll probably finish this as a little pin pillow of some sort. Okay, the next one is I am working again on the candy cane stocking, and so I wanted to show you, I did a little bit of a different colorway of it. Not tremendously different. You may not even be able to tell. So there's the one that I just finished for Miss Jenny, and then I decided to do the white on this one is 3865. And then the white on the other one is grits, Week Style Works grits. So on Miss Jenny, after on her ornament, after I put it all together, I decided that this space from the top to the band was just too much. I didn't like all that space. So my friend Louise and I were sewing together, and she goes, "Why don't you put some buttons across there?" And so I had those really pretty minty buttons. And instead of trying to work a needle in there and stitch them on, I pretended to sew pearl cotton through the holes and then tied them off with just like a little knot and left the little strings for some dimension, and then I used some stitchery tape and put them on. So they're faux attached, if you want to call it that. All right. Fun to work on. The next FO I have is a chart I borrowed from Wanda, and I had given her this as a birthday gift last year with the fabric, and she had enough fabric left over to share with me, which was so kind. Thank you. And this is by the Woolly You. I reached out to, I believe her name is Kim, and asked her about the finishing. It's no longer, her blog is no longer available to read, and she sent me a sweet note back and told me about the finishing for this. She just made about an 8-inch pillow with it, and then evenly spaced her pennies around there and then stitched them on. So that's how I'm gonna finish it. And this is my finish. So I used the called for colors or something very close in the DMC if I didn't have it. But I enjoyed stitching this. It's a very pretty piece. And I love that it combines the wool applique, the pennies. I think that'll be pretty. So that's called Autumn Blessings. Okay, so the next the next one I want to show you is, I didn't bring it over. Oh, I see it. Hold on a moment. You can look at my lovely shelf for a moment. All right, here we are. So we are working on, Louise and I are working on her birthday start. And we are doing Miss Liberty by Teresa Kogut out of the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. And we've given ourselves a homework schedule, and we will do an assignment for this month and next, I believe this month. Then we'll wait and start back up in January to have it finished in time for Memorial Day. So I've got that much of it done. And I'm doing mine on Vintage Country Mocha. I believe it's a 36 count using the call for threads, I think. Pretty sure. And she's a lot of fun to work on. So there's Miss Liberty. And then Fiona Rutherford, I've been working on her. And this is, I don't know if I've made progress on her though since I've last talked to you, but I'll show it to you anyway. This is a Wishing Thorn pattern. That is, she's 1866 is the year. And if you're new to my channel, I've been wanting to do an 1866 wall because that's 100 years before, 100 years from my birthday. So now you know how old I am. So here's that. And she's a really tiny one. And I bought a kit from the Wishing Thorn to do this. And I've been stitching it with my friend Shelly, Antique Needleworkers. So, made some progress on it during Sampler September. I also started this with my friend Kim, Contented Needlework with Kim, and this is Mojo Stitches on a Low Branch. And I will show you this. So I'm using Weeks Dye Work Kentucky Bluegrass as my color. So I've made some good progress on it. I'm enjoying it. Alright, then I've been working on my red thread a day, and although I haven't been doing one red thread every day, I have put in some time on it. And this is JBW Antique Rooster sampler. And I am using Cottage Garden Canna Lily. Cottage Garden thread, Canna Lily. That's my red. And this is my progress. So I don't have much left to do, but I am really enjoying it. I love this. It's so pretty. And then I also worked on Consider the Lilies. So let's pull out that. So if you're new here and you're not familiar with Consider the Lilies, this is a heartstring samplery pattern, and it's quite large. She also has one called His Eyes on the Sparrow, and it has more animal motifs, whereas this one is more floral. So I'm going to get my big board out here since it's available. She won't go across the whole board, so we'll have to just work with it best we can. All right, so the border is all the way around. It's been like that for a bit. I've been working in this corner down here and I've gone all the way across with the words and the border in the middle there, and I've just been working on different motifs over there in that corner. The tree and Adam and Eve go in the center there, and I just haven't done that quite yet. So sometimes I work on her on Sundays. It just kind of depends on the mood. I do think this is going to be a focus piece for 2025. I'd like to get her done. And there's some other pieces I'd like to start and work on. Other whips that I have as well. So I think she needs to get done, and then I can move on to some other things. All right, let's see. So I want to talk to you about, while I'm still having cross stitch, I want to talk to you about today in Johnson City, Tennessee at Cross Stitch and Crafts. Annie, the proper stitcher, and the Nebby Needle, Bonnie, are there, and they both designed patterns that all the proceeds go to helping those in Marshall, North Carolina, who had a severe happening in that area, as you know, from the Hurricane Helene. And so I've placed my order. I added a couple of weeks dye works to that. I decided to get both patterns. I thought that was the least I could do, is to try to help out in that way. And so I was excited to do that. So I wanted to share that with you. It's not just today. I think they're going to run it for about a month. So you can call over there, and PDF of Annie's pattern is also available, but just a hard copy of Bonnie's. So they're happy to mail it to you if you decide you want both of them. And I did. I got both of them, and I'm looking forward to it. Annie's has, both of them have posted on Instagram. So if you follow them on Instagram, the Proper Stitcher and then the Nebby Needle, you can go over and look at the designs and see how pretty they are. And I hope you will help go support those folks. They were just really sweet on the phone when I called, and I know they were super busy. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I have a new quilt pattern. I had the opportunity to teach at my local quilt shop, Linda's Quilt Shop in Monticello, Kentucky, on Thursday. I had a great group of gals, 6 ladies that came, and we worked on a wall hanging and we just had the best time. And the wall hanging that we worked on was a yo-yo Christmas tree wall hanging, and this is a free pattern that I have written. And the reason why it's free is I saw something similar in a quilt shop in Louisville, Kentucky, Among Friends quilt shop. And although Among Friends is not in business anymore, I just felt that I got the idea from their shop, from someone that had designed it and had it in their shop. And they were gracious enough when I had visited that day and saw it that they let me take a picture of it. And so I made one, and then I had actually made a couple of kits, and I knew Wanda was coming to visit with me. We were still living in Stamping Ground, Kentucky at the time, before the Ohio move. And we made it together. She came to visit me one time and we made it together. And then there's also some inspiration for making this from Quilts and More magazine. They had a series of 4 seasonal wall hangings that looked similar. And so I just did not feel good about writing this pattern and then saying it's mine, because the inspiration came from 2 different places. And even though I've put my own spin on it, it just did not feel right making it for sale. So it is a freebie. If you do want a copy, I'm happy to send you a PDF of it. I would be more than happy to do that if you want to do that. Let's see, I may be able to show you. Let's see, I have it right here. So this is the one that's on the front cover of the pattern. And the yo-yo makers, I used the yellow one, which is the 60 millimeter, and the orange one, which is the 45 millimeter. And again, you can go to my yo-yo tutorial on YouTube, and you can see how to make those if you're interested. These are just 2.5 inch blocks. There's 6 of them. You have 18 total, and then you have basically it's about 12.5 by 16.5 in the center here. Some tree trunk backing, and then a stripe binding. So if you're interested in the pattern, I'd be happy to send you the PDF of that. The other inspiration was, this is one of the Quilts and More. This was the summer one from Quilts and More, and so you can see kind of the similarities, the little blocks at the top. This one does have a yo-yo as well, or I chose to do a yo-yo in the middle of the sunflower. But that was part of the inspiration. There's a fall one, there's a winter one, and there's a spring one that has a big watering can. The fall one has a big pumpkin. So just thought I'd share that. All right, let's see what else. Plans. So November 1st, if you're interested in this, Louise and I and some other friends, Jan, we're going to start Feast of Friendship, and we're going to do it on a homework schedule. And if you're interested in that, I'd be happy to send you the homework schedule. You've probably seen Feast of Friendship. This is a Blackbird design pamphlet. Just beautiful. I think my friend Jeanette's doing it too. And then I'm doing mine on Eureka by Fox and Rabbit. At least I think I am. And then these are the called for colors, which are just so pretty. Really pretty fall colors. So if you want to join us, let me know. If you want to do the homework schedule, let me know and I can send you the homework schedule. We're going to start November 1st and hopes to finish next August so that we can have it fully finished. We're ready to display it at Thanksgiving or in the fall. All right, fun mail. So I did receive some fun mail. I'll share that with you. On Instagram, Kim Deal, she's a quilter, had done a giveaway with Henry Glass Fabrics, who's her fabric distributor, and I won it. along with Lisa on Prim's on Greenway. We both won the Instagram. There were 2 Instagram winners and there were 2 Facebook winners. I couldn't believe it. So what we had thought we were winning was a fat quarter bundle. And are those just not gorgeous? Beautiful. And when I got the package in the mail, I thought, God, this is really heavy for a fat quarter bundle. Well, there's a charm pack in there. There was a jelly roll in there. And a layer cake in there. So, Henry Glass, Kim Deal, thank you so much. I'm so excited. This is the beautiful line. There are free patterns on the Henry Glass website that go along with this line, and one of them in particular, and I'm drawing a blank on it, is one that I'm really interested in seeing if I can use these for. I just need to get some of the white background, which would be, I need more of the white. So, but oh, these colors are just, they're so pretty. And this color matches the walls in my room here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So there's that. Another thing that I received in the mail that I had ordered, actually, this is a product that I came across when I was trying to figure out about pinning a quilt. And the safety pins that have the hook in them have a curve in them for pinning quilts. That's what I've been used to using. But someone mentioned these pin moors on a Facebook post that I read, and I thought, you know, I might want to try that. And so I can show you real quick what it looks like if I can. This was my shop sample for my class the other day, so excuse all the hanging things because I was demonstrating. But this is just regular straight pins, and it's a kind of a rubber, and you just push that on the end, and then when you get to that in your quilting, just pull it out. It just comes right out. And it just saves your hands. So I played with it a little bit. I want to try to play with it again. I'll move it a little closer so you can see what that looks like. So, pin moors. I got a bag of 50, so I'll let them choose the color. You can let them choose the color. They have a bunch of colors on their website. My one fall pattern that I purchased, I think this is the only one I purchased, is Autumn Leaves and Pumpkin Please by the Scarlet House. And I have my pumpkin ready to go. So I want to stitch that. And then I purchased this by JBW Designs because I love it. It's one book that has 15 stockings from her Sing a Song of Christmas series. And my daughter helped put this booklet together for her, so I especially wanted it at that point, just to have something that Jess had worked on and helped her with. So, looking forward to making some of these stockings. Right, a couple of more things, a couple other books. I found these books on Facebook Marketplace. This is the Kim Deal. I have some of the other simple books, and this is Simple Christmas Time Tidings, beautiful projects. One of them is this, let's see, look at that snowman pillow, how cute that is. Little wool. So anyway, that's one of them. And then I thought this quilt was just adorable by Jan Paddock. It would be fun. And then this Camp Quilts, and this is also a Jan Paddock. I thought it would be fun. I'm a little bit brighter, so it might look a little different with me. So there's those. All right, so I have a winner for my new pattern. This was the pattern that I released in September, and it's called Palm Drive Carriage Ride. This is the pattern, and there's the original, the little antique I stitched it like the antique, and then I finished it in 2 different ways. And here's one of them. And my winner for the pattern and the pack of thread is the Stay-at-Home Quilter. Hi, Kim. Congratulations. And so I'll get that out to you as soon as I hear from you. All right, and let's flip the page here. Okay, so a couple of things. Encouraging word, okay? So sometimes you're in a space that you just don't know what to do. Sometimes you get discouraged, sometimes things are going great. But recently, I went through a time of, I've gone through a time of discouragement. And so last weekend we had gone up to Danville, Kentucky to meet my mom and dad for birthday lunch for my dad and my husband. Both have birthdays in September, and we had planned the weekend before, but that was the weekend Hurricane Helene had come through and the weather here wasn't great, and so we decided to postpone it 1 week, and last weekend the weather was great. And we had gone into the Center bookstore. Center College is there in Danville, and we went into the Center bookstore, and I'd known about this book and I knew it was coming out, but didn't expect it to see it there. But it was really perfect timing, and I haven't read it through yet. I'm in the middle of it, but I did want to share it with you. You know that I like Ruth Chow Simons. If you've seen me or followed me on my channel here, Celeste Creates and Celeste, we went through her Advent book last year, or maybe the year before, her Christmas Advent. It's just gorgeous. She's an artist, but she's also a great writer. She's a mom of 6 boys. She calls them her man cubs. And anyway, just a neat lady, a Christian author. And so I'm reading this right now, and it's been great. So I just want to share that with you. If you are looking for something to read and need some encouragement, this has been great. The word of encouragement, the scripture that I want to share with you today, I have it to memory, I hope. It's Proverbs 3:5-6, and it's trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. And that's kind of where I am right now. I'm in that trusting mode, trying to find that path, where I should go and what I should do. I'm working on figuring out my business, how I can help that grow and progress. And so if you're a praying friend, I'd love for you to pray for me, pray with me about that. I shared with you about the cross-stitch shop in Johnson City. There's also Sassy Jack's, which is north of Asheville. She had a video out Friday, and she will be opening next week. She is open Wednesday through Saturday. So if you're in that area and you can go see Kimberly at Sassy Jack's, I know she would love that encouragement. Annabella's is also in that area. So those are some shops we can definitely show some love to. Then there's also a quilter in the area in Black Mountain. Her name is Brittany, and her husband Peter. And they have Lo and Behold Stitches, I believe. It's the name. Stitchery is the name of it. And she has lots of quilt patterns that are PDFs on her website that you can order, and other things on her website. And they have a shop in Black Mountain, the little town, and then they also live in the area. So if you want to follow her or go look at some of her posts, they've been very enlightening. She is collecting quilts to distribute to those who would need them, especially with it getting colder. They were asking for quilts, and I hope to get one made and send her way as well. So I just wanted to encourage you to continue to pray for those folks. If you can support them, that's great too. If you can send them an encouraging note or text, they greatly appreciate that. Even a scripture just means a lot to them. I want to thank you so much for joining me. It just means a lot to me that you would take your time. There's so many FlossTubes to watch, and I realize that because I spend time watching them too and often encouraged by them. So I do want to thank you so much for taking time to watch and visit with me today. And if there's anything that you had questions about, or something I showed too fast or didn't tell you what linen it was on, feel free to reach out. I am on Instagram at so_just_BeeCuzz. I do have a Gmail account, so just BeeCuzz at gmail.com. And then the comments below, I try to answer every comment that comes through. And if you have any questions there, you can post them there as well. You can message me on Instagram, and I will respond to that too. So I hope you have a great weekend. I'm praying for you that are in areas that are struggling right now, but be encouraged. You're not alone. God never leaves us alone. He's always right there with us, and it's just as simple as saying his name. So take care, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.